Okay, great. So what is agility? So welcome to all of you, right? So, and I hope all of you are doing well. And even though the COVID numbers have gone down, my request to each one of you is not to let your guards down. Don't think COVID is gone. COVID is still there. So you need to be careful, be safe, and make sure that each one in your family is taking good care of themselves, right? So don't become adventurous and venture out and do things that later on you may regret, right? So on that count, what is agility?
I think agility is having the skill and the willingness to learn new things, maybe based on your failures or your experiences.
It's a great answer, but that is learning agility. So you were spot on in saying that, but what is agility? So we are going one step back. So you are in standard second. I'm talking about kindergarten right now.
You often use this word called nimble.
Correct.
Can
So what
that
is
be?
nimble? So when we say nimble, when we say agile, so agile is a word which is spoken a lot, both in technical terms as well as in behavioral terms. So we want to understand that. So we want to understand these two words. What is agility?
Can I try?
Sorry? Yes,
I try?
yes, absolutely, sir, absolutely.
The one who's able to quickly respond to changes. Maybe it may be environment, maybe it's friends, whether it is school, college, whatever it may be. So one who is able to respond quickly.
Correct, right? So I'm making my notes. I would request all of you to always have a paper and pen with you, or you may want to take down notes on your phone. What has happened is over the last few decades, our ability to listen has nosedived because of our dependence of getting a recorded version of watching it again or reading it again. That I think so we need to work upon. And one great way is to write as you learn, right? So make a habit of writing notes. So yes, that's a wonderful answer, sir. The ability to respond to changes quickly. Yeah, so that's being agile. Absolutely right. What else is agility? We are 25, 26 of us on the call. So let's make it as interactive as possible.
Sir, Vivek here.
Yes, Vivek.
Anand.
Sir, agility is a continuous change. We adapt according to the surroundings and the people around us.
Okay, so it is adapt. So what you just said would link to adaptability, our ability to adapt to continuous change. So I'm writing continuous change, and then we will look at what do we mean by the word adapt to changes. But thank you for that input. Yes, Anup जी, आप कुछ कह रहे थे, something.
Hello, yes, मैं तब से हेलो कर रहा हूँ. मुझे लगता है I am not able to.
Correct. So we were not able to hear you. Now I am able to hear you. Maybe आप muted mic पे बोल रहे थे.
Good evening. Good evening. I was there from the beginning.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But you see, I couldn't find this button. कहाँ पे है?
Okay.
So that I unmute myself. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
हाँ जी. जी.
So ये जो time लगा मुझे, okay, ये करने के लिए, this is I am pretty slow in this, right? Okay.
Correct.
मैं आप जब मेरा नाम बोला, if I would have reacted immediately, I would have found that button, and
Correct.
if I would have connected, I would have been agile, right?
That's a nice way of correlating it. Correct. Very nice. Very nice. Right. So that is what Patel sir also said. Respond to changes quickly. Super. Very nice. Thank you. And so nice to have you on the call. And
I'm here. I'm driving, but I'm listening. I'm since the beginning.
Very
okay.
Fantastic.
And
so he and his son, both of them are there on the call.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So, thank you for correlating a live event with the word being agile or not being agile. Right. So, some more answers. So, we have got one good answer on agility and one answer that we will park it for understanding adaptability. Okay, so let me give a quick exercise. All of you have a paper and pen with you? And for those who are driving, don't write as you drive. So you please be safe. But if others, you are at home or office or wherever you're sitting, if you have a paper and pen, please take it out. And then tell me you're ready with a thumbs up. So let me ask you a quick question. I'm just trying to set the context of what we would want to learn in this series, and then you can share it with your friends. So if they are interested, they may also join on this call. So are you all ready with the paper and pen? I can see Monica's thumbs up. Yes. What about others? I can say Manav and Jigar are ready. Okay, so others, Nirali is also ready. Okay, so if you are ready, you have 60 seconds to answer this question. The question on your screen is, think of a rubber band and what are the various uses that you can use a rubber band for? 60 seconds starting now. The last 5 seconds. Okay, stop. So how many were you able to do? Don't write it in the chat box.
Tie our hair.
How many uses? How many types of uses? Or how many numbers? So tie your hair is 1.
5.
5. Okay, so Anupji says 5. Give me, shout out your answers. How many uses were you able to find out?
Okay, number 1 is Gulati bana
to hit someone.
Right?
To hit someone. Okay. So just give me your number, not how you will use it. I just at this point in time just want to know the number. So let's say 5 is what is. Okay, 5. Thank you. I heard someone use rubber band to hit someone. We used to do that in school. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, give me some numbers. How many numbers were you able to?
7.
7. Okay.
5.
5. Okay.
3 to 4.
Did you write 3 or 4? Just check your paper. Did you write 3 or 4? So I'll write 4. I'll give you the benefit of doubt.
4.
Okay then. 4. What about others? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 responses. 4. One more response. 4.
5.
3.
5. 3. Right. So what you just did in your mind is try to understand a concept that I'm going to build upon in this series, and that is called how do you zoom in, how do you zoom out, and how do you zoom in again. It is also called divergent and convergent thinking. And the reason we were not able to think more than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is that we do not exercise our mind enough. Our mind is also a muscle. The more we work it, the more it develops. And this series is all about helping you build your cognitive agility. In this series, we are going to talk about building your change agility. And talking about change agility, let me show a picture that might relate to you, is on your screen. Are you too busy to innovate? Look at this amazing picture that talks about, am I being change agile? Most people are not, most companies are not, and hence most people become irrelevant after some time. In this series, we are going to talk about personal agility. In this series, we are going to talk about social agility. And we are going to talk about a lot of other concepts that I think will be of use to all of you at the age and stage you are in your life. Right? So we're going to talk about agility. We are going to talk about we're going to learn 3 or 4 terms. We are going to learn one term which is called fluency. That is the number of ideas that you were able to generate when I asked you the question, how many uses of a rubber band? We're going to learn a word which is called flexibility. How many different categories of responses were you able to write down? So let's say if you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 responses, can you categorize them into 7 different categories? Or is it one and more of the same? We are going to learn about originality. Tying your hair, almost everyone writes it, so hence there is no originality into it. Using it to hit someone, most people would write that. So it lacks originality. We need to learn how do you build that originality, and many more terms we're going to use in this. We are also going to understand a wonderful concept which is called functional fixation. Because of our surroundings, because of our upbringing, because of whatever reasons you may want to give, we have that bias. So we thought of rubber band as something to tie our hair or tie something. Nothing wrong with that, but how do I ensure that I move out of that functional fixation or biasness? If you don't want to get into the technicalities of those words, we are going to understand what do you mean by being in a flow. And unless I am in that flow, we will not be able to be agile from a cognitive ability, right? And cognitive ability is so very, very important. We're going to talk about it. I'm just giving you a context of it. We're also going to talk about adaptability. And we had one response, that being adaptable to continuous change. That's a great response. But what do we actually mean by being adapting? So am I adapting to change, or in my mind, am I tied into my past? Many of us are tied into our past. We are not able to break that shackles of the past. And we don't understand that past is a place of reference, not residence. Past is a place that I learn from, I do not live in. And if all of you, young boys and girls, if you want to conquer the tomorrow, you need to focus on the future and do a few things. And this we will try to cover in the 4, 5 part, 6 part, 7 part series that we will have on the same day, same time, using the same link. How do I invent? What is the meaning of it? What is the mindset I need to invent, to reimagine, to re-engineer, to collaborate, to work without hierarchies? And doing that, how do you create a new glory? All that and much more we are going to understand in this series, and hopefully it will help you. And even as I share these things with you, you would say, Anand, I know most of it. But then why are you not taking a chance to change? If you know it, why don't you change? It is even far more sad to be in a mental state that I know that things are changing, but yet I am somewhere fixated in the way I worked in the past. Not many of us try to do new things. Not many of us build new skills. I'll give you an example. If you go to a restaurant for food and you're ordering something, and on that menu list are some items which are very new, you don't even know how to pronounce them, and you don't know what it is. And then you have chole bhature, you have got pani puri, you have got aloo paratha. What do we order? We generally order things that I'm familiar with. We don't try the new. And unless I try the new, how I'm going to expand my understanding of a particular concept? And this is easier to say and very, very difficult to do. I need to take a chance to change, and all that we are going to do, and many more concepts we are going to learn in this time that we are going to share with you. And I'm also going to share the lessons that I have personally learned in going through about 28 years of working life, realizing that I have made tons of mistakes, horrible mistakes, horrendous mistakes, blunders that I have made, and what have I learned. I'm going to share some of my learnings with you, and hopefully that will help at least one of you, if not more of you. We are also going to talk about what is the need to build future skills. COVID has changed a lot of things forever. We may never get back to 100% of the world that existed in the pre-COVID times. So am I building problem-solving skills? Am I looking out for big problems and then trying to solve those big problems? That's a mindset point. And many more. These are things that we know, but only a few of us work on it, right? And if you're serious about your career, and if you know friends who are serious about their career, you may want to be on this call for a longer time, right? So what I'm trying to say, it is all about mindset. Okay, take about 2 minutes to write down on your piece of paper names of 5 successful people that you know. 2 minutes starting now. 5 names of successful people that you know. You still have about 30 seconds. Okay, so time up. Take another 2 minutes to write down names of 5 people who remained average, who could not achieve. So I don't like to use the word they were not successful, because that is judging someone, and I would never want to judge someone. But think of 5 people who could not fulfill their potential. 2 minutes starting now. Okay, so time almost up. I hope all of you were able to write the names of 5 people whom you thought are achievers, very successful, and 5 people who were kind of average. Okay, so keep that list with you. I'm not going to ask, speak out the names because that is what you thought they are. So let's do an activity. I would request all of you to be on mute. Can all of you be on mute, please? Thank you so much for your understanding. It just helps us stay or have clarity. So Prakash bhai, if you can go on mute, please. Okay, so you are okay. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding. So quick activity. You have got, okay, let me first explain it to you. So you have a paper and a pencil with you or a pen with you. What you have to do is draw a dot on your paper, just a dot. Yeah. And I'm going to give you only 60 seconds, 60 seconds, and tell me, and I just want, before you do it, you have to shout out your answers. How many such dots can you draw in the limited 60 seconds time that you have? Shout out your answers like, oh, I'll do 50, I'll do 60, 70, 80. Just give me a number. Shout out your number before I give you the 60 seconds to do it. Unmute yourself and just shout out your answer. 100. Then please mute yourself.
100.
100. Okay, so let me write it down here. Okay, 100. Then quick.
Anand, I did not understand the task.
The task is, how many dots can you draw in the 60 seconds time that I'm going to allot to you? And before I give the time for you to do it, I want you to tell me the answer in advance. In your estimation, how many dots can you draw? And I gave you that range. Give me an answer like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. How many can you draw in 60 seconds?
120.
I revised it to 150 maybe.
Okay, 150. Okay. Prakriti, your answer?
I will say 80.
You will say 80. We also have Jisha ji on the call. She is again an amazing leader and a great teacher. So nice to have Jisha ji on the call. So nice to see your name. We have, so don't write it in the chat box. Please give me a couple of more answers.
40?
40.
1000,
okay.
sir. Sir, 1000.
1000. Fantastic. Very good. Okay, so your 60 seconds and be honest to yourself, the answer that you thought in your mind or you wrote down somewhere, I'm not going to check it, but just be honest with yourself. Your 60 seconds to draw the dots on that piece of paper, those 60 seconds starts 1, 2, 3, now. $20 seconds to go. $5 seconds. And stop. Put your pencil or pen down. Now check. Did you do less or more than what you thought or you committed?
Much more than 150.
Much more.
Much more.
Much more.
So and Anand,
yes.
And if we could have just drawn a line segment, then we could have assumed as many points as we want, right? I figured that out.
And that's a great answer. right? So if I were to just use this thing, a straight line is a collection of infinite dots. So this is infinite. But the point that I'm trying to share with you is I conditioned your mind by giving you 2 points. I said you only have 60 seconds and I emphasized on that. So I conditioned your mind like that. And I said, okay, give me an answer in the range 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So all of you in your mind, I trapped you into that thinking that this is the range and you were plus minus in that range. Are you there with me? So my question to you is, if we talk about mindset, is are you like this koi fish in the aquarium, and in the aquarium it can only grow 4 inches? If you take that koi fish out of that aquarium and put it into a larger water body, it grows 8 inches while it remains 4 inches in that aquarium. You take that 8-inch koi fish and put it into a larger body, it becomes 16 inches while it remains 4 inches in the aquarium. You take that 16-inch and put it into my office in Mumbai. We have got a huge aquarium. I call it a machliyon ka swimming pool. I have a koi fish in my office which is 20 inches while it would have remained 4 inches in an aquarium. You take that 20-inch fish and put it into, let us say, a lake. It grows 48 inches. This is the power of association. This is how our mindset gets affected by the people that we surround ourselves with. Are you surrounding yourself with people who push you, who challenge you? I don't think so. We generally have people around us who speak what we want to hear, not rather what we need to hear. So while you could have answered as infinite, you limited yourself, and the numbers that I wrote is 100, 120, 150, 80, 40 and 1000. Great attempt, but it is the mindset. So what is your mindset? Are you thinking about the achiever's mindset, or are you thinking about the people who remain average? And if you think of those people that you wrote under the title achievers or successful people, and under the title not so successful or average people, I don't think so it is talent that differentiates them. I don't think so it is opportunity or the lack of opportunity that differentiates them. In my opinion, and we can discuss about this, I think so it's all to do with mindset. I can give you examples after examples of people who had no resources but were resourceful and they made it big in life. They had no education but they were competent and they made it big in life. They did not have a pedigree but believe that it is performance that counts, and they made it big in life. It's all in the mind. So tell me, what do you think, if you were to answer it in one line, differentiates the people whom you wrote as people who were successful and the people that you wrote who were who remained average? What do you think is one difference that allows someone to break the shackles and move onwards and upwards, above and beyond, and keeps the other person trapped into what I call mediocrity, and they never move into the realms of excellence? What's your answer?
I think, Anand, you answered in your question that they kept moving. I mean, the successful ones, they just kept moving.
Are you moving?
Forward.
Is Prakriti moving?
Yes, definitely.
In what direction?
Onward and upward.
At what speed? Who is checking that? Unless I have that verified, I may be fooling myself. I'm not that saying that you're fooling yourself, but I'm just telling that I may be living in a what is called the fool's paradise. I may think that I'm doing all that I can, but there is so much more to do. You said I will do, let's say, 100 dots, but you end up doing much more. While you had the potential to do, let's say, X number, I'm currently X minus something as far as performance is concerned. So let's go deep into this, and I hope you will stay with me. And what do you mean by the word failure? What is the first word that crosses your mind when you think of failure? Quick response.
Not capable.
Okay, not capable. Okay.
Unable to achieve.
Unable to do. Okay, so
not focused.
Not focused. Okay.
Not sincere.
Not sincere. Okay.
Laziness.
Why are we lazy? There is a word which is called sluggard. And sluggard or being sluggish means I'm not just physically lazy, I am mentally lazy. Some of us, sorry if it hurts you, we have become mentally lazy. We have become sluggard. We don't have that energy to jump out of the bed and do something with energy, with vigor, with zeal, with zest. We are just passing time. You need that energy and that intensity of a Virat Kohli or any of the sports people that you admire, or any other person that you admire. Laziness, that's a great answer. So please understand, failures or being the, or let's say, let me put it in a different word. So I failed is what the society tells me. But I need to tell myself from a mindset point of view that I'm yet to succeed. In this series, we'll talk about two fantastic concepts called fixed mindset and growth mindset. The fixed mindset says, I failed. The growth mindset says, I am yet to succeed. And I love that word, yet. And if you want to understand the difference between achievers and average people, and if I were to summarize that in one line or one word, it has two parts to it. The first part, achievers have a different perception of the word failure. They think that I'm yet to succeed, and they have a different response to failures. So think about the statement, and if you are making notes, write it down. Successful people or achievers, whatever term you want to use, you can use that. They are people who have a different perception of failure, and they give or they respond to failures differently. That's the growth mindset that we would want to work upon in this series. So where do I sit? Where am I? Am I becoming a victim of the circumstances that life throws at me? Or am I a person who goes saying that, okay, these are the cards that life is dealing me with. I need to move on. I'm yet to succeed versus I am a failure. That is what we are wanting to understand. And please remember, things can become difficult and will become difficult. And remember, this statement I have repeated a lot many times, that we need to choose between two pains, the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. So let me summarize what I just shared in a few words. Some of you may have known this. Achievers spend time in preparing, whereas people who do not actually reach their potential, they waste their time in repairing. Ask yourself, in the day that we are living, the 6th of Feb 2021, and what is the time? It is about 7:12. So you would have, let's say you got up at 7 in the morning, now it is 7 in the evening. what have you done from dawn to dusk, from sunrise to sunset? Have you prepared? Or have you repaired? From a mindset point of view, what do you think is the difference? Let's highlight the difference between a mindset that prepares and a mindset that repairs. Some thoughts before I share some of my points to you?
The ones who prepare are proactive and the ones who repair are reactive.
Correct. What is proactive?
Proactive is taking initiatives before that the urgency to take that decision comes on you.
So what is that initiative that Prakriti did today?
I sent you my business communication presentation. I completed it today.
After how many weeks, months?
I think it took me 1.5 months.
I'm just joking. I'm just putting you on the spot, but that's a great answer. Be proactive versus be reactive, right? So be proactive, as Prakriti very rightly said, is taking the initiatives to do the right thing at the right time, for the right reason, at the right place, without anyone telling me to do it. And did I take initiatives to understand the budget? How many of you can talk about the budget? And I have got some finance people on the call, and I know that they are from the finance field. But nevertheless, no matter what your domain is, how many of us can talk 10 minutes on the budget? How many of us can talk 10 minutes on the monetary policy that the finance minister declared yesterday? Please remember, whether you are in the field of finance or you're not in the field of finance, we are in Industrial Revolution 4.0, and this Industrial Revolution 4.0 is going to revolve and build on knowledge. Know that it is the edge. So am I taking that initiative? That's a great point. So proactivity or proactiveness helps us to prepare. Proactive people or people who prepare are focusing on today. So all their energy is today. They understand whatever will I sow today is what I will reap tomorrow. So what did you sow today? Today matters. And you have heard this from me many times, that the future does not start tomorrow. The future starts today. Today matters. It's a great book written by Dr. John C. Maxwell. The mindset of repairing is focusing upon yesterday. अरे जाने दो, कल क्या हुआ पता है आपको, मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, ये हुआ, वो हुआ. Bas, negative. Yesterday ended last night. If you want a one-liner for the day. Yesterday ended last night. It is dead, it is buried, it is done, it is dusted. So am I focusing upon the today, or am I trapped in the past? Number two, it increases effectiveness. And how do you differentiate between effectiveness and efficiency? Anyone?
Effectiveness, we can give more output by making ourselves prepared.
Okay.
And efficiency is the how speedily or how fast we are doing that work.
Okay, that's a good response. Thank you. Thank you for trying to answer that. That's a great effort. Thank you so much. So let's build upon that, right? So I appreciate your input. So let's think about it. Can I be efficiently be ineffective? The answer is yes. And I can give you a lot of examples on that, but maybe later on. I'm just, again, setting the context about what we want to learn in this series. And hopefully all of you will come back next Friday, or rather next Saturday. So just to understand this, when we talk about effectiveness, effectiveness is doing the right things. Effectiveness is doing the right things. When you talk about efficiency, we are talking about doing things right. So what is my focus? Is it on right things, or am I doing things right? Right things versus things right. Difference between effectiveness and efficiency. We are going to talk more about this in this series. Whereas when you prepare, you are increasing effectiveness. When we are repairing, we are only consuming time. मैं बहुत सारे लोग को जानता हूं जो मुझे कहते हैं कि आनंद जी मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, तो मैं सोचता हूं कि इस बंदे के पास टाइम नहीं है, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? कभी किसी को ये मत बोलिएगा कि मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, ये बोलना कि मेरी प्रायोरिटी अलग है, मेरी प्राथमिकता अलग है। ये कभी किसी को मत बोलना कि मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, मैं बहुत बिजी हूं। डूइंग व्हाट? Am I productive or am I busy? And you know what? Most of us, majority of us, focus on the insignificant many. Hence, we stretch ourselves too thin. Only a few of us focus upon the critical few, and those are the people who go on to become achievers in life. Nothing to do with talent. And I can show you a bunch of talented people who amounted to nothing in life. Number 3, when you talk about preparedness as a mindset, it increases confidence because you have practiced it. You are prepared. And my challenge to all, especially young boys and girls on the call, did you prepare for the domain in which you're building your career? Like if you are in finance, did you read something on finance today? Not related to your academics, not related to the job that your organization has given to you, but over and beyond that, what did I prepare? In the domain in which you are building, did I build the depth of my knowledge, and am I building the width of my knowledge? So I need to be a mile deep and a mile wide person. I cannot be an inch deep and a mile wide person. Depths में जाना है. Depths में जाएंगे तो मोती मिलती है, pearls मिलते हैं. ऊपर ऊपर रहोगे तो सिर्फ शंख मिलेंगे. And मैं आप सबको चैलेंज करता हूँ, and maybe आज चाहिए तो वो चैलेंज कर लेते हैं. 5 मिनट आप में से कोई मेरे साथ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात कर लो, मशीन लर्निंग की बात कर लो, आप ब्लॉकचेन की बात कर लो. अगर वो टेक्नोलॉजिकली अगर मैं लिटरेट नहीं हूं, ट्रस्ट मी, वी आर स्टेपिंग इनटू अ वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टाइम जोन. I was in a leading university about 10-12 days back, and we had a full day interaction with the top students, top quartile students in a top ranked university. And I asked a few of them who were going to pass out as computer engineers, and I asked them, you are using a 5th generation computer? Yes. What does it mean? I asked a simple question. When you start your computer, tell me what happens in the... I asked a person who is in the chemical engineering section. I asked that summers में आपकी मम्मी मटके में जब पानी रखती है तो मटके का पानी ठंडा होता है, दूसरे बर्तन में जब पानी रखते तो ठंडा क्यों नहीं होता है? डेप्थ नहीं है क्योंकि कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. कॉन्फिडेंस क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि प्रिपरेशन नहीं है. प्रिपरेशन क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि वक्त हमारी ऐसी चीज में जा रहा है जहां पर मैं टाइम पास कर रहा हूं. टाइम पास करने की चीज नहीं होती है, टाइम को इन्वेस्ट करना होता है. और जब आप रिपेयर कर रहे हैं तो वो आपका इट ब्रीड्स डिस्करेजमेंट बिकॉज इट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू लॉट ऑफ नेगेटिविटी. माइंडसेट की बात करें तो प्रिपेयरिंग माइंडसेट क्या करता है? इट बिकॉज यू आर प्रिपेयर्ड. लाइक ब्रायन ट्रेसी in one of his books says this beautifully. Every minute that I plan, I invest in planning. Every minute that I invest in planning will save me 10 minutes in execution. I'll repeat. हर मिनट जो मैं प्लानिंग में इन्वेस्ट करता हूं या करती हूं, it will save me 10 minutes in execution. तो 1000% रिटर्न आपको मिला. But we don't plan. जिस बेहतरीन तरीके से हम वेकेशन प्लान करते हैं, क्या उसी तरीके से, उसी मेटिकुलस वे में, इमैक्युलेट वे में क्या हम अपनी लाइफ को प्लान कर रहे हैं? For the answer for most of us would be no. जब आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं? थर्ड पॉइंट, you pay now for tomorrow. That is the pain of discipline. The mindset of repairing is paying today for yesterday. That is the pain of regret. वो काश वाली feeling. Like I always tell this to my daughter, कि बेटा, you should never be in a situation when you look back and you think, I could have done better. But time is gone. Time is never ever going to come back. And the last is, it helps you, as Prakriti also said, on your onward and upward journey, and this keeps you trapped in the past. So in this series, we are going to talk about focus upon preparation. And मैं आपके साथ कोई भी rocket science share नहीं करने वाला. You know what is rocket science? Anyone can tell me what is rocket science? Quick response.
Hard to understand.
Anji?
Magic.
Magic, okay. Thank you, Patel sir, for that word. But anyone else? What is rocket science?
Hard to understand.
Rocket science is rocket science. That was just a stupid PJ. Don't worry about it. So what is rocket science? Rocket science is rocket science. We are not talking about rocket science. We are talking about something very, very simple. Right? Some of you will not get my rocket, my stupid jokes, but let me share with you something that
out of the box.
Out of the box, which box?
Sir, something different from what we usually do.
Correct. So why do you think there is a box? Just think that there is no box. And so I want to ask you this question. Are we feeding our mind with faith, with truth, with love? So think about, I have got two wolves on my shoulder, one wolf fighting the other wolf, and they're constantly engaged in that battle. So one wolf is a wolf of doubt, of fear, of discouragement, and the other wolf is the wolf of the joy of victory, positivity, and they're engaged in an ongoing battle. Which wolf do you think will win? Neelab, if you have not said anything since the time you joined in. Which wolf of the two do you think will win? Anyone?
The two wolves you said were, one was, am I audible?
Yes, you are definitely.
Okay, one is the one of doubt, right? And the other one is of, can you just repeat the word?
Of faith.
Okay.
Right? So faith, truth, love. So one is fear, the other is faith. Let's keep it simple. So one wolf is of fear and the other is of faith. Both are
definitely the one. Definitely the one with faith.
Correct. So that's a good answer. But actually the right answer is the wolf that I feed will win. If I'm feeding fear, the wolf with faith will starve. And if I feed my faith, the fear will starve. So what are we feeding into our mind? Are we feeding faith? I don't think so. Because the surroundings does not allow us to think like that. And what happens because of that? We get into what Robin Sharma says, the trap of entertainment. I need to be in that mindset of education. I'm not saying we do not have fun while we are studying. So it's not either or, but it is not wasting time only on entertainment, but I'm learning something. So what am I doing? Is my mind filled with those three things that I just spoke about? Faith, truth, and love. Remember, it is all in the mindset. So let me share something which do you know him?
Yes.
Who is he?
Mukesh Ambani.
Mr. Mukesh Ambani.
I did not ask you his name. I asked you, who is he?
Richest person of India.
I did not ask you what is his status.
Chairperson of Reliance.
I did not ask you his position.
A gentleman.
Okay, that's a good answer. So we all are looking at the output, but you need to understand the thought process. And when it comes to mindset, he talks this beautiful statement. What is that statement that we get to learn from the man himself? 3 things. What are the 3 things that you learn on this slide? Can one of you read these 3 points?
Learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Correct. Thank you. So if you learn, unlearn, relearn, only then can you have excellence in life. So that is what LEAR as an acronym stands for. But are you unlearning? And I think so between learn, unlearn, and relearn, the most difficult is to unlearn. And if you don't unlearn, you become a Nokia, you become a Kodak, you become a BlackBerry, you become a Macromax, you become a Blockbuster Videos, you become a BPL, you become a Videocon, you become a Onido, you become Ericsson, you become Motorola, you become Nippon Batteries, you become Philips, you become Sony, you become General Motors, you become Hindustan Motors. Mindset that I am going to let go of my achievements of the past. I will not be trapped in the past. Good, bad, ugly. It is done and dusted. I need to conquer new victories. How do we do that? Second point. I need to clutter my head. Declutter my head. I need to clear that clutter from my head. We have a lot of bhusa bharela either here. All those stupid things that we listen through the social media, through the television, through the newspaper, cluttering your mind. Get out of that sold media, which is popularly called as social media. How much time do we spend on the screen? And versus how many time do we spend on the book? Get out of Facebook and face the book. Some of you youngsters may not like it, but that's okay. I'm not here to be liked. Are you having a detoxifying method of clearing the clutter in your mind? That's how you become who he is. And the third is, you skill yourself, you de-skill yourself, and you reskill yourself. So 2021 has started and we are already 1 month and 6 days into the year of 2021. So about 37 days have already passed. So what new skills have you learned in the last 37 days? What new skills have I learned in the last 37 days? If yes, great, keep it up. If no, better pull up your socks. Otherwise, you will be left behind. The train of the fourth industrial revolution has already departed from the station. It departed in the year 2016 and we are catching up 5 years since it departed. What does this great man tell us? He is telling us to do two things. I'll give you about 60 seconds and I want you to think about this word. And this is one of my favorite words, and dream, and tell me what it means. Okay, take 2 minutes and tell me what does a dream do. So 2 minutes starting now. So I just got something to drink. Okay, so anyone who can tell me what D in dream does, what the R in dream does, what the E in dream does, what the A in dream does, and what does the M in dream, what does it do?
I think D is for direction.
A good answer, very nice answer, very important. And this your answer takes care of this part, Prakriti, goal. So we'll come to this part, but I am here. So that's a good answer. Fantastic. Sorry. Do, absolutely. So are you doing all that you can do? Because I need to do more so I can be more, so I can have more. Not the have more ice cream, but this is what Zig Ziglar says in one of his books. We all need to do more so that we can have more, so that we can, or rather be more so that we can have more. So do more, have more, and so when you talk about D, if you are making notes, please write this down. D in the dream, if you have, if not, start building your dreams. Your D in the dream will distinguish you. It will set you in a different context. You don't conform to the ways of the world. You were created to stand out. God created you to stand out. Don't fit into the society. So what does D do? It distinguishes you. It differentiates you, puts you into a class, not a mass, because you were never created to be a part of the mass. You were always created for a special purpose. You and I were created by God for His purpose, by His purpose. D, distinguishes you. What is R? It helps you realize your potential and check for yourself, is your performance equal to your potential? The answer is no. We just did that activity of drawing the dots. Your potential was far more, but your performance was far lesser. And you would have seen, as you said, okay, 100, and when you finished 100, that intensity sometimes drops. Does not drop for some, but it definitely drops for most. So it helps you realize your potential. E, it energizes you, it enthuses you. A, it affects prevailing attitude. The world says it cannot be done. The world said to Reliance that you cannot set up a Jamnagar refinery. You cannot do it. That's not the place, and India does not have the market to do it. Today, Jamnagar refinery is the world's largest refinery. There are 700 refining locations in the world. And we are the world's largest. The world said you cannot do a Jio. You will fail miserably. Jio already is the second largest single country mobile operator in the world. One of the only 2 operators in the world who have more than 400 million users. It affects prevailing attitude. The world said to the Wright brothers, you cannot fly an aircraft. If human beings were born to fly, God would have given them wings. You are wasting government money, taxpayers' money. But they did not listen. They affected, their dream affected the prevailing attitudes. The world said, you cannot beat Australia in Australia without a Virat Kohli, without a Jasprit Bumrah, without a Mohammad Shami, without a Rohit Sharma. Young boys, no experience. Washington Sundar, Mohammad Siraj, your Shardul Thakur, they had no experience. They were bowling against Steve Smith. They were bowling against David Warner. They were like gigantic people in that field. But they had a dream. And they were prepared. In their mindset, India won that series in the mind, not on the playground. Australia lost it in the mind. And if you don't get energized by India's victory over Australia in Australia, by these bunch of boys who have absolutely, in the last test match, the 4 Indian bowlers all put together had 11 test wickets. The 4 Australian bowlers had more than 1,000 test wickets. And the last is, it mobilizes you. It motivates you. And as Prakriti very rightly said, towards a goal, towards a direction. So what's your dream? The second thing from a mindset point of view says, focus on your goals, not obstacles. But I challenge you. I challenge the 25 of us on the call. Can you show me your not to-do list for today? I'm using the word not to-do list. And if you have a not to-do list, congratulations, you are on the track. If you do not have a not to-do list, sorry, you are on the way of becoming irrelevant sooner rather than later. And remember, the young India, the world is standing and taking a notice of young India and what young Indians can achieve. And I don't want to miss that bus. I don't want to miss that opportunity. And all young boys and girls, get off your laziness, shrug yourself, and start doing something meaningful with your time. 1,440 minutes in a day. Don't waste a minute of it. Don't think about the obstacles, because obstacles will always be there. And someone so beautifully said, obstacles are those frightful things that we see when we take our eyes off the goal. But my challenge is, I've spoken about goal setting 1,000,000 times to most of you, but even after speaking 1,000,000 times on goal, I bet 90% of us do not have goals in life. What does this great man tell us? This great man tells us it's a mindset to work 16, 17 hours a day. It's a mindset to say no to luxuries, to leisure. I need to sweat it out. That's mindset. What does this great man say? Be the best version of yourself. What does this great man say from a mindset point of view? So are you positive? Do you know the thoughts that you think? Do you keep a filter on the thoughts that you allow to get into your mind? There's this beautiful book called Think What You Think. And for some of you who are regular on my calls, you would have heard this a zillion times from me. Please develop habits of reading books. Make presentations on it. Put it on LinkedIn. Be visible at the right place for the right reasons. In front of the right audience. But what are we doing? Instagram. What are we doing? Netflix. What are we doing? Facebook. Is that going to build your career? Remember, this series is all about mindset. And I want to close what I wanted to share with you with one of my most favorite videos. Some of you may have watched this, but two things just to reiterate and we close. The first point is what I said some time back, that the difference between people on that list that you wrote who are successful and the list of people that you wrote who are not so successful is their perception of failure and their response to failure. So watch this video as I close with some points, and then hopefully I'll see you next Saturday, same time, to continue. This is one of my favorite cricketers. He is one of my favorite sports person. I'm talking about his performance. I never talk about a person because I never get personal with anyone. I learn from what they do. I learn from their performance, and he's one person who has broken records, and I don't think so his records will ever be broken. 20,000 and more runs in the last 10 years, close to 70 centuries in the last 10 years. No person ever alive has done that. I don't think so anyone can break his record. That's just amazing. But how did he reach there? What did he work? How did he work on his mindset? What was the trigger? It's called that inflection point. It's called the tipping point. After that point of inflection, you don't go laterally, linearly, you grow exponentially. Some keywords he's going to say. I want to build upon that and then close. Watch this video and make your notes.
I was not disciplined at all in terms of my eating and my fitness. I mean, I can't even relate to that guy anymore that I was in those years. 2012, again, had a really, really bad IPL season, and my eating habits were horrible in that season. I can remember coming back home and I came out of the shower, the team didn't do well. I came out of the shower, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you can't look like that if you're an international cricketer. You know, I was like, how the hell are you going to continue like this if you don't take care of yourself? Boom, from next day onwards, I just changed everything about my diet. Hitting the gym 2 hours a day, just taking a day off in a week, eating proper lean food. I got away from all kinds of junk. I did not have a cheat day at all, and within 8 to 10 months I lost about 6 or 7 kgs, and then from then on it became such an addiction because I saw the results on the field. I felt quicker, I felt lighter, felt more focused, and then I was like, man, this is the path I want to go. If we don't change the way we are playing, or I don't change the way I'm playing, or the way I'm training, or thinking, or eating, I can never be among the best players in the world. And there's no point in just competing if you don't want to be the best. So I wanted to be the best version of myself, and then I based everything around that vision. And then my training, my diet, my approach towards the game, everything changed. And I know that I wasn't the most skilled sports person when I came in, but the only thing that's been constant is working hard on myself and my game. And I wanted to make an impact. I knew that I have the ability to make my team win. And I wanted to be that version of myself where if I walk in, I wanted teams to think like, we need to get this guy out or else we're going to lose the game. So I thought if I can't have that impact on my team, then I'm not doing justice to, where I am. And if I don't want to be that guy, there's something wrong in my head. Either I've accepted being, lower than what I should be, or I just don't have enough drive in me. So I said, I'm going to unlock my max potential and achieve what I should be.
Awesome. It is just, I can talk about this video for as long as you want me to. Couple of things to note, and I made my notes, and these are some words that hopefully it will stay with you, because maybe I may not be alive next Saturday to take this session. This could be the last session of my life. I do not know. But if you're going to live with a few points. Point number 1. He has become the player that he has become because of being, write this down, positively dissatisfied with his current state. He looked at himself and said, man, you can't be like this if you want to be an international player. Who do you want to become in the field in which you are working? And then check, do you have the right set of habits that will, if you kind of extrapolate, will land you in the position that you are aspiring to get to? Are you positively dissatisfied with your current state? 2 important words, positively dissatisfied. That is what triggered something in him, and he says, man, I'm going to change. Second word, take care of yourself. My question to all of you, especially young boys and girls, are you taking of what you're feeding in your mind? Are you feeding gossiping in your mind? Do you sit and gossip? Weak minds talk people. Great minds discuss ideas. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Feed it with faith. Feed it with truth. Feed it with love. Number 3, it's all about discipline. Number 4, he speaks about results. And you also would have heard in that video that it takes time. It took him about 6 to 8 months to lose 6 to 7 kilos. Results take time. Whatever you will start doing today, don't expect results tomorrow morning. And the challenge with many of you, the young boys and girls on this call, is you are the Maggi noodle generation. You want everything in 2 minutes. Careers are not built in 2 minutes. It takes toil. It takes huge, ridiculous amount of hard work to be successful. It's not an easy path. Are you ready to go through that? Change. Are we changing for the better, or are we becoming bitter with change? Better, B-E-T-T-E-R, or bitter, B-I-T-T-E-R. When you see change around you, is it giving that positive push to you, or saying that, oh, this is all bakwas? bitter. I know most people become bitter. They don't become better. Next challenge is working hard on yourself, and you work hard to create an impact. Last bit, then I say thank you to you. What is the equation of impact, if I can ask you? If impact is an equation, so your left hand side of the mathematical formula is impact. So what would be on the right hand side? Impact is equal to
input.
So impact is equal to E over A times T. So when we talk about impact, what is E? Paucity of times. I'm not asking you to think. I'm just giving you the answer. I want you to think about this, and we will discuss more on this when we meet next Saturday. Is effort. E in impact equation stands for effort. Are you putting all the efforts and more to be the best version of yourself? I don't think so. Some of us are plagued by a disease which also starts with E. And the name of the disease, excuse-itis. Oh Anand, you know what? मुझे करना था, but मेरे बॉस ने छुट्टी नहीं दी. Excuse, 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 excuse. You either have excuses or you have results. You cannot have both. I tell this to my daughter, beta, remember, winners make progress, losers make excuses. You check out what you want to become. A is area. Remember, if this goes down, this goes up. If you remember your maths, focus on one or two areas. Don't focus on a million things. And we're going to talk about this as a mindset. What is that area that I want to work upon? And the last alphabet here is T. And T is time. You cannot take eternity to do what you are supposed to do. You cannot take as long as you want to what I always say, becoming the best version of yourself. You cannot. This series is helping you be the best version of yourself. Nothing more, nothing less. It takes huge amount of discipline. Remember that formula of impact. It is effort over area into time. Think, what are the efforts that I'm putting into my career? Am I doing all that I possibly can do, or am I just passing time? Blaming circumstances, blaming people. You don't win in life by playing the blame game. Life is not fair. Life is never meant to be fair. It's all in the mind. And this video of Virat Kohli is there on YouTube. You can just check it out. Listen to him and check out his records. And that is how we understand the importance of mindset. My last one-liner to you, the most important space in your body is the 12-inch between your 2 ears. The most important critical part of your body, 6 inches between your 2 ears. Feed it with faith. Feed it with truth. Feed it with love. Don't feed it with hate, with gossiping, with all that negativity that the world is talking about. And if you do that, who stops you from being the best version of yourself? Right? So that's what we want to do in this series. That's what I would want to encourage you to start thinking about. That is what I'm challenging you to get rid of a few things in your life And this is to all young boys and girls on the call and to everyone on the call. I believe that we all are born with seeds of greatness, but only a few of us will ever become great, because majority of us get sidelined by secondary activities. Secondary activities such as Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, and many more. It just consumes your time. Remember, you are born with seeds of greatness, but most of us don't become great because we get sidelined, sidetracked by secondary activities. So spot those secondary activities in your life. Think of all the activities that you do on a daily basis. Most of you, I don't even know your names. If we cross on the street, barring a few, I may not be able to recognize most of you. So I hope you know who you are. I hope you know what you are doing. So make sure that you're channelizing all your energies in the right direction and align, as our chairman so beautifully says, align your purpose and your passion with a goal. Alignment is so very important, and that's all in the mind, right? So that's it from my side.